Yo, everybody, what is up? Welcome back to another One Piece character breakdown, where I run characters down for you guys, tell you everything you need to know about them, and throw in my incredibly valid and incredibly knowledgeable personal opinions and biases. You didn't ask for them, but you're gonna get them anyways. Today on our One Piece character breakdown, we are covering the perviest of the pervs, and I am not talking about Sanji this time. Today, we are covering Absalom of the Graveyard. Now, to start us off, we'll do a little overview on who Absalom of the Graveyard is. Now, Absalom is known as Absalom of the Graveyard, and since it doesn't state why, I am going to give my incredibly educated opinion that comes from an incredible amount of research. I've watched the arc 3 times. That's it. That's all my research that I did. Besides looking at his character, I watched the season 3 times, and that's off dome. I know exactly what I'm talking about, guys. So, I'm saying he's called Absalom of the Graveyard because he works and lives in a graveyard. Super genius stuff right here, guys. He's also in control of zombies that rise from graves. Another graveyard-esque thing. So, there we go. Absalom of the Graveyard. So, it was kind of on some Occam's razor shit, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like, the simplest answer tends to be the correct answer, right? I mean, in some instances, Oda really enjoys throwing some twists and turns in there, but in this one, I felt like it was really straightforward. And if you're confused as to what an Occam's razor is, Google it. I'm smart enough to use the word correctly, but not smart enough to truly explain it. Anyways, Absalom was the leader of the soldier zombies and general zombies. He was also one of the mysterious 4, what Gecko Moria called his 4 main crew members. And at some point during the time skip, he changed his name to Absa, and was then at some point, and this is a spoiler, was abducted by the Blackbeard pirates and killed to poach his devil fruit ability, which went to Shiryu of the Rain, who objectively is way better with the devil fruit. Way better. Now let's move on to my guy's appearance. Now, Absalom, when we are introduced to him, is an incredibly well-dressed, described as richly dressed man. He wore an ankle-length coat with a very high collar, which is cut like a parapet along the bottom. And for the life of me, I cannot figure out what the fuck that means. I googled it. All I got were buildings, right? I looked up parapet clothing. Buildings made out of clothing. I shit you not, it was the most frustrating thing to try to figure out what it meant. Anyways, now, while I'm undoubtedly a genius, I'm going back. I still don't know what it means. He also wears a white button-down shirt with 2 crosses on it down towards his hips, like right here, you know? That was a great movement to do on camera. He has basic blue pants held up by a white belt with a chain tucked into a pair of black boots. He wears a big white round hat, and I actually don't know what type of hat it is. My first thought was turban, but I know for a fact it's not a turban. Right? It's kind of hard to describe, right? Like, this is what it looks like, right? Like this is what it looks like, but I don't know what type of hat it is. Now, underneath his clothing, his body has been stitched together by Dr. Hogback, another member of Moria's Mysterious 4, from various animal parts. He has the skin of an elephant, and his muscles are a mix of bear and gorilla, and he has a lion's jaw face thingamajiggy. Anyways, the combined weight of all of these transplants makes Absalom incredibly heavy. He weighs a staggering 300 kilos, which translates roughly to 620 pounds? I know the conversion is 1 kilo to 2.2 pounds, right? But I don't know what 300 times 2.2 is. I know it's around 620. But don't expect me to do math, alright? I'm the anime guy. Alright? Now, as a child, however, Absalom was visibly starving, skinny, and malnourished, and wore a destroyed moth-eaten hat, dark pants with a strand of beads around his waist or off of his hip. You guys can see right here. I can't really remember off the top of my head, but the picture is right here. And simple shoes. He also, for some reason, carried a shovel. I think that might have been like foreshadowing to like his graveyard epithet, but who knows? Now we will move into my guy's absolutely charming personality. Now, Absalom is a well-known pervert, so much so, in fact, that he makes Sanji look like a saint. I mean, dude is licking Nico Robin and spying on Nami when she's naked in the shower. That is prime level. I mean, in Wano, Sanji semi does the same thing, but that's a completely separate story, alright? We don't talk about that, alright? We don't talk about that, okay? He also does not shy away from SA. I don't really want to say the term. He does not shy away from harassment of the inappropriate kind towards women, as well as blatant and outright assault. Subsequently, he was given the nickname Absalom by the zombies under his command, because like erotic and Absalom, Absalom, big brain type of shit, you know what I mean? He especially preys on women who he deems cannot fight back, case in point, Nami. Right? Anyways, he is also pretty damn hypocritical, as he called Sanji a pervert for wanting the clear fruit to spy on women, which is exactly what he does, albeit to a more heinous degree. Like the other Mysterious Four, he was incredibly devoted to Moria's ambition, although he often had to work very hard due to Moria slacking off and constantly slacking off at that, and his overall shitty behavior. Now, Absalom's dream was to become the Graveyard King and rule over all of the graveyards in the world. Now we will move into his abilities, powers, and fight style and devil fruit. Now, as one of the Mysterious Four, Absalom has been given absolute authority over the undead, specifically the soldier zombies and the general zombies. While this does not mean he is stronger than them, it did mean that Absalom posed a major threat to Moria's enemies and Thriller Bark's enemies. His overall power is great enough, however, that the soldier zombies and general zombies do fear his wrath. His anger, his outbursts, his reactions to things that he deems slights and stuff like that, he reacts very negatively, and the people, or not people, the zombies under him fear him for that reason. Now, in terms of raw physical ability, Absalom is actually pretty damn strong. Base level strength, physically probably one of the stronger people we meet pre-Marineford, just in terms of raw strength, not ability to do anything with it. Just raw strength, Absalom is probably one of the stronger people we meet who is not on the crew, however unnatural it may be. Through the body augmentations that Dr. Hogback performed, he is stronger and more durable than you would, than meets the eye, right? You look at him and you're like, or whatever, and then you hit him and it's like punching a brick wall, right? He's kind of ridiculous in that sense. He can take multiple strong kicks and combos from an enraged Sanji, as well as, I believe, 2 or 3 of Nami's stronger lightning attacks before finally being knocked unconscious by one of Nami's lightning attacks, which is not, something to scoff at, right? Having Sanji unload on you, even pre-time skip Sanji, and being able to, withstand it and still, get some licks in back, that's pretty impressive. That was not supposed to be a play on words. Anyways, now we're going to move on into his devil fruit. The devil fruit that Absalom has is actually an incredibly powerful and very, very useful devil fruit in the right hands. Absalom's devil fruit is the Suke no Mi, or in English, the clear fruit. This devil fruit allows the user to become completely invisible, as well as turn any object or person they are holding invisible for the duration of their contact with that object or person. Now, Absalom uses this ability to spy on women and hide his weapons, which I will talk about in a second, but I believe that is a very poor use of this devil fruit. We see when it gets poached by the Blackbeard Pirates and given to Shiryu of the Rain, who is a very dangerous man, very strong fighter, very dangerous swordsman. When we see him with the clear fruit, he's using it for sneak attacks or disappearing in combat and reappearing somewhere else, hiding extra stuff on him. Whole sorts of things that you can do with this devil fruit that Absalom either did not have the mental capacity to do, or Oda didn't want to write somebody that strong into the story that early. Right? Now, speaking of things that can be made invisible with this devil fruit, I touched on it a little bit earlier, how he made his weapons invisible. Absalom carries 2 bazookas strapped to the bottom of his arms, and these aren't just like little, pew pews. No, these are like full-blown bazookas, like heavy, which is again is a testament to Absalom's raw physical strength. He has 2 bazookas constantly on his arms, and he's just swinging it around as normal. But he uses these bazookas, he makes them invisible. They appear to be triggered by hand movements, as he can go like this, and then they shoot. But because they are invisible, it appears that he is doing energy blast type attacks, which confuses almost every single opponent he's ever had, except Sanji, who knows exactly what the clear fruit is. We also see him use a dagger to stab Sanji in the back, but we only see that once, and it wasn't that impressive, honestly, so I don't really feel like that's worth talking about, All right, and we will now briefly, and I mean briefly, cover his involvement in the past and in the current world. Now, most of the information regarding his past is completely worthless, right? He was a weak and skinny kid. At some point, he joined Moria's crew. It's not stated when, if he was the first, yada yada. It is stated that him and Perona, I almost forgot her name, even though it's in my script, that him and Perona were present when Dr. Hogback was recruited by Moria, as you can see right here. But that's pretty much all we have about his past. Now, on to his involvement in the present, namely the Thriller Bark Saga, because everything else is just kind of like SBS information type of thing. Now, he first appeared on the Thousand Sunny while invisible and kept the crew from setting foot on Thriller Bark. After trying to keep the Straw Hats on the ship and then assaulting Nami and Robin, he went and woke up the soldier zombies and the zombie generals, where he was accosted by Lola, who we will not be discussing due to the fact that she is a semi-important character for future arcs and will have her own episode. But, fuck it, we're gonna do it anyways. Charlotte Lola, or Lola, as the pink pig is called, is the daughter of Big Mom, who had her shadow stolen and placed into the body of a zombie warthog, I believe. It's not a pig, it's a warthog, named Lola. Lola is obsessed with Absalom, which is a personality trait of Charlotte Lola, who is desperately looking for a husband, which we learn in the SBS. Right? But yeah, anyways, she's completely obsessed with Absalom and wants to marry him. So now, back to Lola accosting Absalom. Lola runs up on him and tries to trick him into marrying him because she knows he won't do it outright. She does all sorts of tricks like, hey, I need you to sign this, like, a supply form for the ship, right? And he'll start signing and then, like, the pages will move and it'll say, marriage certificate, and he'll be like, ah! And then, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Anyways, he refuses outright, as always. I think he's done it several hundred times by this point. And says he's going to marry Nami, which prompts a multi-episode spanning murder attempt by Lola on Nami before Nami pulls some trickery and gets Lola on her side by originally telling Lola that she was just an attractive boy who liked to cross-dress, essentially, I think was the vibe that Nami was going for. And then when that failed, she was just like, no, you're beautiful, you deserve to be happy, get your mans type of thing. And Lola was like, I am beautiful, I do deserve him. And that's kind of how the murder attempt ended. Anyways, Absalom followed the enraged Lola, who was trying to find Nami, to Perona's garden where he ordered his zombies to attack the Straw Hats, however, to leave Nami unharmed. A zombie containing Sanji's shadow refused and fought back as much as he could in a zombie penguin body that was probably the size of my chest. Anyways, he gets absolutely blasted by Absalom's bazookas. After this, he was called to witness Moria extracting Luffy's shadow. He did express pity for Luffy, who had been made. He expressed pity for Luffy, who had been made negative by Perona's ability, which is a little weird to me, seeing as how he's like Absalom. You know, after extracting Luffy's shadow, he accompanied Moria to the 900th zombie, Oars, who is an ancient race of giants who, I think is something like twice the height of a normal giant. Motherfucker is huge. Who is from that are almost practically extinct. I think the only living member is Little Oars Jr., who is an ally of the Whitebeard pirates. After awakening Oars, he recaptured Nami and sent her to the tailors to be fitted for a wedding dress. He tried to marry the unconscious Nami by sealing the marriage with a kiss, but he kept missing due to the fact that Oars had steered the ship into a strange current, and the ship was going side to side, and then Nami was kind of hitting the boxer's head movement, if you know what I mean. Absalom then sent his generals to stop Oars, but they were totally demolished. In, I believe, under a second, Oars just kind of stepped on him and crushed him, put him in the absolute dirt, and then was rolled up on by Sanji, who had come back to save Nami. Absalom was defeated, obviously, but before he was defeated, he was absolutely destroyed by a series of powerful kicks, and then went invisible, and then started trying to attack Nami. Sanji was saving her, and Absalom took that as an opportunity to launch a bunch of free attacks on Sanji, and how I mentioned earlier his weapons, how he took a dagger, he stabbed Sanji in the back, literally, and then Sanji was all like, you know what, whatever, throws Nami into the air, hits him with, if I believe the move was extra hache, some French word for a food cooking term thingamajiggy. Anyway, Sanji hits him with that kapow and absolutely rocks his shit. However, he did fully recover and tried to marry Nami again, but was stopped this time by Lola, who tried to end the ceremony. Absalom was just done with it and actually shot Lola with his bazookas, which enraged Nami to the point where she shocked him with her strongest lightning attack, knocking him unconscious for the rest of the arc, right? He didn't die. He did come back, and he left at the very, very end. Now, continuing on after that, he was present for the Marineford War. He did save Moria from Doflamingo, who had been ordered to kill him, which does show a little bit of fearlessness, right? He's aware of who Doflamingo is, right? He knows he's got Conqueror's Haki, Armament Haki, Observation Haki, a powerful Devil Fruit. He knows Doflamingo is very, very, very strong, yet steps up anyways and tries to save Moria. During the time skip, he became a freelance writer under the alias Absa, in which he now started to use his Devil Fruit, the Clear Fruit, to sneak into places to get the inside scoop, as it were, on certain situation. He spied on the Kid, On Air, and Hawkins pirates and was the one that released the news of their alliance to the world because he was there while invisible when the alliance was being made. Now, during the Dressrosa arc, that's what I said, then that happened during the Dressrosa arc. In what fans are calling the most deserved death in One Piece, at least on Reddit, I believe that there are people who deserve to die more than he did. He was killed by the Blackbeard pirates, and his Clear Fruit was stolen and given to Shiryu, like I have said already. Now, Now we're gonna wrap up with just a little single trivia point, which actually to me was like incredibly fascinating, and is another example of why Oda is the best fiction writer of all time, right? In my last video, we covered Abdullah and Jeet, and how they are based off of real life pro wrestlers by the names of Abdullah and Jeet. Absalom, while maybe not based off of this person, is named after him. Absalom refers to the biblical character of the same name, who was the son of King David and reputed to be the handsomest man in old Israel, whose vanity and ambition eventually led him to an ill-fated rebellion against his father. I don't know anything else, and I'm probably not gonna go any farther into that because, if I'm not mistaken, that's, like pretty serious biblical stuff, and I tend to not touch that. But yeah, I think it's fascinating that Oda takes pieces from quite literally everything, and he's saying, hey, I need this guy, we're gonna take this guy's name and put it here and make it like this, super cool, super cool. Alright guys, thank you so much for staying till the end of the video. It truly means the world to me every single time you guys do. I love each and every single one of you. I do this for you guys to help you guys learn about the One Piece world and the characters in it. Now for a little bit of the stereotypical YouTuber bit. Please like, share, subscribe, ring the bell. It does help me a tremendous amount when you guys do any of that. The likes, the shares help get me out there, help, raise my stats up, and as a YouTuber just trying to, be successful and doing what he loves, it truly does mean the world to me every single time you guys do that. I'm gonna, like I said last video, I'm gonna try to be better at posting, and I really did mean that, but finals came around and I got sidetracked, but I swear to God, I'm gonna set this schedule and I'm gonna start trying to release a video every single Friday, at least once a week is what I'm gonna try to do for my One Piece videos. And without further ado, I just want to say thank you guys so much. You guys know I love you, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Peace.